episode 3499, When Later Becomes Never.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous weekend. Can you believe already? We are almost to the end of August. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we're about ready to embark on the last quarter of 2024. Take a deep breath. When later becomes never. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already even had the opportunity, you'll want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the K.I.S.S newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Okay, so I've got a question for you, and it has nothing to do with marriage, except your marriage to me and me to you. Okay, not really, but seriously. I'm thinking about something, and I want to hear from you. So I want you to come on over, drop me an email, connect@createyournow.com, and I want you to tell me, would you be interested in us growing our TV, I don't want to say influence, our TV shows, what we bring you, the content that we bring you. A lot of you are watching them, and that's only a 30-minute segment. But we want to be able to bring more of that. So what would you like to hear from us? I want you to email me, connect@createyournow.com. And seriously, I want to know what you're thinking, because if you're like, Christiane, I really want this, tell me, what do you want? Because right now, we are in the deep, dark dungeon of dragons, of tearing apart the website, getting stuff done, and merging things and creating new things. You know, I'm not a really big fan of newsletters. You know that, right? Okay. I love to read. I love to write. I love to talk, but not so much in a newsletter. However, we are making some changes. So guess what? Newsletters are going to start happening again. I know it's kind of crazy, but if you haven't signed up, make sure you go and sign up on our website. And you know the website, right? createyournow.com. And what we're going to do is we're going to start just kind of putting out a few things just so we can have some communication written, and it might be some pick-me-up inspiration, whatever it is. And so we're going to have some different segments as to, yes, I want this information. No, I don't. And you can tailor it to your needs and your wants. But we're experimenting with that. One of the things I want to be bringing to you, which, I mean, why do we not talk about it in marriage? Because who doesn't like to eat? I mean, you get married, right? What do? You have a party, and a party means food, lots of food, and a huge cake, right? Sign me up. I'll take it now. Okay, no, I won't. But seriously, who doesn't like to eat? So why not do some cooking together? So I just really want to hear from you. I want to know what you're doing and what you think. Don't be afraid. It only comes to me. Seriously, it's only my eyes on it. So if you're like, Christiane, I don't know what to do or what to say, it doesn't have to make sense. I'll understand it, but you got to send it to me, because I cannot serve you the way you want to be served if you're not telling me what you want. Okay. So let's start there. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, because you know what? It is like we're married. We just are kind of a little different, right? Well, with this weekend, it has been a fabulous month for us. My husband and I have celebrated now 31 years married, 34 and a half years together. It has been oh so blissful. No, it hasn't. If anybody tells you their marriage is the best thing ever, and they don't say, yes, it's the best thing, however, we do have our own issues. I like to call them quirks, because my husband and I do. It is the best marriage ever, but it comes at a cost. And it comes at a cost of us working together. And a lot of people now get married, and we're still selfish. We've got all these things that create these selfish patterns. We've got phones that are always in our hand, and we've got social media that's always attention, 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 right? Every 3 to 4 seconds, there's something new and exciting. And if you get bored, you just scroll to the next one. Oh, don't like that. Scroll to the next one. Your attention span is less than a goldfish. I mean, that's so sad. Seriously, think about that. But that's the world that we live in. And so this month has been a wonderful celebration for the two of us, just really reflecting on that. And so as I was thinking about everything that we're doing, we're in the middle of renovating our house. We're getting ready to move. We're getting ready to relocate. I mean, there's just so many things happening. And so when I look at all of this, I'm like, wow, oh, wow, how much fun this is. And it is. It truly is an adventure because I've moved so many times. And I don't always know. This year especially, as you know, we had somewhat of a hard start to 2024. And I've actually lived more outside of my home than I have lived inside my home. And it sounds crazy, between the loft, the apartment, and another house, that's where I've been. I haven't been in my own house. And so as I was sitting there just kind of reminiscing almost, and not really thinking about the memories, but just kind of going back through a very compressed timeline, trying to think things through, I'm like, wow, there's a lot happening. I don't know if you've looked at your compressed timeline, but I'm sure you got a lot happening. And I'm sure you're like, gosh, I wish we could spend more time together. I wish our weekends could be more like weekdays, like 5 weekdays versus 2 weekend days. It's hard, isn't it? And if you got kids, it's even more complicated. Then you sprinkle in the grandkids and you're like, oh, I thought kids were hard, because now you want to be with the grandkids more than you wanted to be with your own kids. I mean, come on, let's be real here. And so you look at all of it and you're like, and I got to cook and I got to take care of the fur babies. And then I've got to do everything else that I said yes to. And maybe you're in the middle of, building businesses, or maybe you're doing some incredible things. I've had some conversation with some clients of mine and some friends, and I'm like, yeah, you guys got it going on. And it's great, but they're in a hard season of, you got to do what you got to do. You got a to-do list that it's not going to do by itself. And I think in marriage, there are many days where we hit a dead end. Like I should do it, but you're tired, you're exhausted. You want to do something else. But unfortunately, guess what? Our minds and actions, they don't always equate to accomplishing what is needed, when later becomes never. Think about all those honey to-dos that never seem to get done. Do you have a long list still? I got to tell you, honestly, I don't have much of a long list. I think I have 2 things on my honey to-do list for my sweetheart. Seriously. I mean, we do try to keep it down because we have so much going on. I can't have a list of 12 things because you know what? We will never get to those. And I don't use the word never very often. But when you think about all the excuses that give you a reason not to, because you don't have to feel guilty, right? And you just tap into those. But in reality, those to-dos just keep getting longer. And the list can become a wedge in the cracks that were created because of another incident. It's the cracks in your heart. And it builds those cavities up, and you've got this residue of gook and yuck and muck and whatever you want to call it. It's not good. It's sticky. And when things don't get done, the bad stuff sticks. Not the good stuff, but the bad stuff. Being married means there are always instances or incidents. There's always something happening. The good, the bad, and the ugly. However, you don't have to live in the pretenses of not doing or holding out for the excuses. Instead, you can double down. That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Double down. D.O.W.N. It's easy to let things slide, especially in the realm of marriage. Procrastination, do you know that word? Maybe it's your middle name. I know sometimes for me, it is definitely maybe not even my middle name, it's my first name, because you just have so many things going on. You don't mean to procrastinate, but you are so booked, there is just no room. Well, I want you to look at your marriage right now. Are you procrastinating the right things? Because maybe you just need to take it off your list completely. Because if procrastination is the norm, right? And it's always happening for you, before you know it, what is meant to turn into later task has been transformed into a permanent never. It's never going to happen. And then you get those cracks, right, in the crevices of your heart, and the bad stuff gets in there and it's really sticky, right? And then all of a sudden you wonder why just this one little thing, and you are just mad as all heck. And you just go off on your sweetheart. And you're thinking, wow, where did that come from? Years of excuses, years of to-do lists that never get done. Years of, I was thinking about that, but, and it's not just the B-U-T, but the B-U-T-T. I want my butt somewhere else. Can you relate to that? Honestly, I think most of us can. So let's break this cycle with a strategic approach. Yes, I want it to be all about strategy, where later becomes now and never becomes a thing of the past. Hence, you get to double down. Ooh, yes. So we're going to break it down to D.O.W.N. Yes, it's an acronym. So the big old D is delegate. 2 heads are better than 1. They really are. So delegate tasks between each other, right? Maybe one can do something better. And don't sit there and just avoid this feeling of, oh, if I just do it, it'll get done. And then it never gets done. And then honestly, deep down, back in the crevices, right? The cracks and all that. Yeah, you're like, if only he would have done it. And you got that tone in your voice and the look in your eye. Yeah. Stop. Delegate. From household chores to planning date nights. Maybe it's sharing responsibilities that's going to create a teamwork atmosphere, right? Let's be on the same team so you can strengthen your bond together. You're better together. 2 heads are better than 1. Now, you may need to delegate to someone else that's not even your spouse. You may need to hire it out. We're renovating. Do you think I have my husband renovating for us? I love him to pieces, but I will not have him renovating our house. Oh no, I brought in a crew. I've got contractors that are incredible and they're doing it for us. Now I'm doing a lot of other things too, along with them, but I'm not having my husband do it because that's not what he's equipped to do. So delegate things, not just to each other, but outside the home or even to your children, right? Get your kiddos involved. If they're of age, give them a chore or 2 to do. Delegate. O, organize. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Thanks, Benjamin Franklin. By failing to prepare, is that where you're at? Because that means you're preparing to fail. So create a calendar to coordinate schedules and avoid conflicts. You are in a new season. If you've got kiddos at home, school has started for most people. A few of them are starting after Labor Day. But even if you are, you got to be thinking about that now. So plan ahead for those important events, the anniversaries, the family gatherings, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, whatever it is, plan for it. Weddings. And if you're one who's planning births, then plan for the births. It's important. One thing we don't normally plan for is a funeral. And those are things that they just get squeezed in. Why? Because life does happen. But when you can create a calendar, that allows you to know what's going on. Everybody's on the same page. Now, one thing I noticed in one of my scrolls, I was looking at a teacher's classroom, and I love being a teacher. I've done many things in my life, and being a teacher is one of them. I still teach now, but just in a different capacity. I feel like I'm teaching more adults than I am children. And so as I'm teaching, I'm thinking, oh yeah, back to school. I remember the chalkboards and now they've got the whiteboards. And I'm like, I don't like whiteboards as much. I mean, I do, but I don't because I like things to be magnetic too. Well, I know you can buy the boards, but then that just clutters up the wall. So I was like, no, you know what I want to do? I want to create a magnetic wall that's the color I want, but I want it to be a chalkboard wall also. So you can get that kind of paint. You can make it the color you want. It's a chalkboard wall. Wow. Yes, you can write love notes to each other. You can have this big calendar on there. You can do so many things, and you can even make it, some areas a corkboard. I mean, you can be creative. Organize things so you feel like you are accomplishing something that works for your family. Don't sit there and assume that it's just going to happen. You're just going to blink and all of a sudden everybody's on the same page. Nope. Doesn't work that way. D, delegate. O, organize. W, work together, right? Because we're better together. Helen Keller said this, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Think of your marriage as a collaboration on projects, on life, big or small. Coming together to achieve common goals and deepen your connection. Whether it's tackling that home improvement or renovation at home, right? Or supporting each other in personal endeavors, whatever it is, working together builds trust and creates mutual respect. I was just having this conversation, right? I told you at the beginning of our podcast episode here, and I was asking you, hey, connect with me at connect@createyournow.com. I want to know what you're looking for. And because we're making some changes, and I have a few ideas, which I've already talked to a few of you about, but I want to know more. And so I was sharing my ideas and thoughts with my husband. And you know what he said? That sounds expensive. I said, no, actually, it's not that bad. He goes, really? I said, yes. And I said, you know what? I don't let money get in the way. I want to dream big. Don't you want to dream big sometimes? You know, what can you do? Can you offer? When I was doing Praise Kids back in the day, oh my goodness, I loved it. It was a mini Broadway musical. We did 3 a year. We did it from ages 3 all the way up to 12th grade. And we had 2 separate kiddos. We didn't have the 3-year-olds participating with the older kids, but we had like a 3 to kindergarten. And then we did from kindergarten on up to 12th grade. And so I just had this huge idea. I'm like, I want to do Christian musicals, but I want to do them Broadway style. But I got to be able to do it in a sanctuary. So we had some awesome events. We turned a sanctuary into a jungle. I've never had such huge elephants in my life and trees. It was amazing. We turned a sanctuary into under the sea. It was incredible. I mean, just fun things like that. We had kids coming out of the whale, you know, for Jonah and the whale. I mean, we didn't let anything stop us. We allowed ourselves to dream. And sometimes I think we stop when we get married and it's like, okay, I'm not going to dream anymore. Really? Work together. Dream together. Right? Come together. And then finally in nurture. Mignon McLaughlin says this, a successful marriage requires falling in love many times, always with the same person. Well, that same person will be the one that has the same name in front of you, but that person is always changing, right? They're growing. They're being stretched too. So they're not exactly the same person. Just kind of want to put that twist on it there. But it is the person you said I do to. And I think that's important that we understand that. So prioritize your relationship by investing time and effort into nurturing it. Come together right now. I mean, like you heard the song, right? Okay, yeah. You already know it. I'm not going to sing it, but you know it. Communicate openly. Express appreciation. Show affection regularly. And it doesn't have to be that woo-woo kind. Oh, I mean, intimacy is fun. But there's also intimacy called a kiss on the cheek. Just a back rub. A little sweet hug. Maybe even a little pinch on the B-U-T-T, right? That butt, okay? Seriously. But sometimes we get caught up in saying, oh, it's going to be just like this. No, it doesn't. Be creative. Nurture each other, right? You want to nurture your kids. You got to nurture your own marriage. Remember, the key to a fulfilling marriage lies in taking proactive steps to address issues before they grow into insurmountable barriers. It's easy to hit a brick wall, and we can do it so fast. But when you double down, you can transform later becomes never into now becomes always. And as I always say in marriage, the magic lies in the moments you create together, right? Go out, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.